She was 14 years old, reported missing. Days of silence. Then, in a Los Angeles tow yard, a worker notices a smell coming from an abandoned white Tesla. Police pop the front trunk, and investigators say inside they found the dismembered remains of a teenage girl. The car, registered to one of the fastest rising young music stars in America. Online, millions knew him as David. Prosecutors say behind the fame was a secret relationship with a child, manipulation, and a killing meant to protect a career at any cost. Today's case takes us to Los Angeles, California. 21-year-old David Anthony Burke. David went from making gaming videos in his bedroom to becoming one of the internet's breakout music stars. Born in Queens, raised partly in Texas, he started recording songs for his Fortnite montages. Those tracks hit TikTok and exploded. Dark emotional songs like Romantic Homicide turned him into a Gen Z phenomenon. By 2025, he wasn't just viral anymore. He was charting, touring, a major label artist with millions of fans and a carefully managed public image. But behind the scenes, prosecutors now allege a very different story. According to court filings, Burke had been involved with a California girl named Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and investigators say that relationship started when she was still a child. Before headlines and court documents, Celeste was simply a daughter, a sister, a friend. She grew up in Lake Elsinore, California. Her family describes her as emotional, sensitive, easily influenced by people she trusted, and deeply connected to the online world, like most kids her age. Court documents allege Burke first met Celeste when she was just 11. Prosecutors say that by the time she was 13 and he was 18, the relationship had become sexual. The defense denies this. They insist the allegations are false. But prosecutors say the relationship grew secretive, controlling, and volatile. And within a couple of years of their first meeting, it would end in violence. Investigators say Celeste disappeared in April 2025 after going to Burke's Hollywood Hills home. According to prosecutors, the two had argued shortly before she vanished. Then, nothing. No calls, no sightings, no answers. Her family reported her missing and searched desperately, but detectives now believe Celeste was already dead. Months passed. In September 2025, a white Tesla registered to David Burke was towed and left in a Los Angeles yard. A worker noticed a powerful odor coming from the front trunk. Police were called. Inside, authorities say they found human remains sealed in bags in the Tesla's trunk. Investigators later confirmed the victim is 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Her remains were badly decomposed and, according to the medical examiner, showed multiple penetrating injuries. The discovery instantly turned a missing person case into a homicide investigation, with a famous suspect at the center. As investigators dug in, the allegations became even more disturbing. Prosecutors claim Burke made specific online purchases after Celeste's death, including chainsaws, a body bag, and cleanup materials. They say DNA evidence linked to Celeste was found on his property. In their theory, Celeste threatened to expose the relationship, and prosecutors allege Burke killed her to silence her and protect his reputation and income. Burke's defense team has strongly denied this narrative. They argue prosecutors are stretching circumstantial evidence, building a sensational story around a celebrity, and that Burke did not kill Celeste. At this stage, all of this remains alleged, not proven. Then came the digital bombshell. Prosecutors told the court they'd seized around 40 terabytes of potential evidence tied to Burke: phones, computers, cloud accounts, photos, recordings, and messages. Buried in that data, investigators say they also found child material. Those accusations are now part of the broader criminal case against him. None of this has been decided by a jury, but the sheer scale of the digital evidence and the nature of what prosecutors say is in it has inflamed public outrage and complicated the defense strategy. As of May 2026, David Burke, David, has pleaded not guilty to all charges. He currently faces first-degree murder, charges related to sexual acts with a minor, mutilation of human remains. Prosecutors have also filed special circumstance allegations, which include lying in wait, financial gain, and killing a witness. They argue Celeste was killed, in part, to stop her from exposing the relationship, potentially making her a key witness he needed silenced. If jurors ultimately believe the prosecution's case, Burke could face life in prison without the possibility of parole. Prosecutors have not ruled out pursuing the death penalty. The preliminary hearing has been delayed more than once because of the massive volume of evidence both sides must review. In recent court appearances, Burke has appeared calm, sometimes expressionless, as attorneys argue over discovery, timelines, and what the jury will eventually be allowed to see. This is a case still very much in motion. Cases like this force some uncomfortable questions about celebrity and how fast we elevate people we barely know, about influence and the power gap between famous adults and young fans, about vulnerable teenagers navigating parasocial relationships online where a DM from a star can feel like a once-in-a-lifetime connection, and about how fame and money can sometimes hide disturbing behavior, until a tragedy rips the curtain down. Share with me in the comments what you think about this case. Right now, the justice system still has to decide whether prosecutors can prove their allegations beyond a reasonable doubt. For Celeste's family, though, the legal outcome won't change one fact. She's gone at 14. A rising music career, a missing teenage girl, a car abandoned in a tow yard, and a case that continues to shock people across the country. The investigation into the death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez is ongoing. Until a jury reaches a verdict, David Burke is legally presumed innocent. But the questions surrounding him and around how this could happen to a 14-year-old girl are only getting louder. This is True Crime with Don Banks.